Hey guys, Ernie here and welcome to the Paleo Hiker MD channel. Outdoor gear can be pretty expensive, and one of the things that I get asked the most is, does it have to be? And what I mean by that is, does the really expensive gear really make a difference? Does it matter? Should you spend the money? Well, stay tuned today. We're going to take a look at the cheapest gas canister stove I could find on Amazon, and we're going to put it up against two of the most popular kind of classic canister stoves, the Soto Windmaster and the MSR Pocket Rocket 2. Stay tuned. Let's see how this cheap version of a pretty classic canister stove stacks up. Thanks for watching, guys. Now I have full reviews on the Soto Windmaster as well as the MSR Pocket Rocket 2. This video is not about that. I'll make sure and leave links down below in the description if you want to check out those specific reviews, and I'll leave them up here in the cards. I never remember which side it is, but I'll leave them up here in the cards. You can check those out. In fact, I encourage you to do so because you're going to learn a lot about the differences. We're not going to talk specifics about the more expensive stoves today. The stove today is a very generic stove. It's manufactured, I'm sure, in a mass manufacturing plant and sold off to many different companies, and it is sold under many brand names. The one we're looking at today is sold under the brand Gas One. Let's check it out. So this is the Gas One backpacking and camping stove. Very generic, as I showed you guys. It comes in a pretty nice little case. We'll pull it out of here for you guys. Here's our stove. Woo, falling down. The dimensions are 3 by 3.5 inches open. All you got to do is just pull this down and then slide these around, just like that. Okay, and then you can pop these little pot supports out like that. There's our stove. Like I said, dimensions are 3 by 3.5 open. In the case, it's 3.25 by 2.25 by 1 inch. The origin is China. It weighs 4 ounces in the case and only 3.4 ounces. The stove itself cost is $8.99. You heard me right, $9. Features, it's compact, it's lightweight, it's cheap. It does have a piezo igniter, although I'll tell you guys, you can see the piezo igniter working. Like, it works every time. It creates a spark, but it only starts the stove maybe 20% of the time, so not very frequently. It's got an adjustable knob for flame control. I'll show you guys what the flame looks like. Excellent protective case. I love these types of cases, these plastic cases. They really help keep the sharp objects from these stoves from impacting something soft, like a really expensive backpack or something like that. Let me show you guys real quick what the flame pattern looks like, and then we're gonna boil some water. Now we're going to do a little water boiling. That's what we do here on the channel. We like to boil water. We're going to use 2 cups of water out of the same source. They're going to be pretty cold today, about 50 degrees or so, 49, 50, 52 degrees, so pretty cold water to start with. We're going to measure the amount of fuel that each of these stoves uses, and we're also going to see how long it takes to boil those 2 cups of water. Now we will be doing this in an indoor and very controlled environment, try to keep things very simple and even for each of these stoves. Let's boil that water. talk about the results, let's talk about one very important thing about this stove. It is $9. $9. The Soto is about $65. The MSR is $50, so a pretty big and significant difference in price. Now, the gas one was 31 seconds slower than the Soto and 26 seconds slower than the MSR. Really not a huge deal. I mean, it is a chunk of time when you're looking at 2 minutes 20 seconds versus 2 minutes 51 seconds for the Soto and the gas one. It's a decent amount of time, but it's probably not something that you would say that is absolutely worth $50. The big difference is in the fuel consumption. 16 grams of fuel for the gas one, 8 grams of fuel for the Soto, and 10 grams of fuel for the MSR. That is a huge difference. Essentially, a gas canister will last twice as long with the Soto versus this cheaper gas one. So what is my verdict? Well, obviously the more expensive stoves win on many fronts. They're much higher quality. They boil water faster. They boil water with less fuel. I would also say that probably the gas one isn't the best quality, since straight out of the box I can only get the piezo igniter to work maybe 20% of the time. The two major differences that I see is the really erratic gas pattern or flame pattern from the gas one, and the fact that it is so loud. I mean, it's like a freaking jet aircraft compared to especially the Soto, which, I mean, the difference is mind-boggling how much lighter and how much softer the sound is from the Soto. It's also super important to note that we are indoors, okay? There's no wind here. The Soto Windmaster is designed to fight the wind, and if you go and you check out that specific video about the Soto Windmaster, you'll see it doesn't lose a lot of, juice in the wind. It doesn't use a lot more fuel. I can't even imagine how much more fuel this gas one would use. Probably instead of 16 grams, it could be 30 grams. 30 grams of fuel, potentially, to boil 2 cups of water. Whereas if the Soto is like 8, if I remember the testing showed it was like 11 in the wind. Not a big difference. I would have done wind testing today, but I cannot find my wind testing fan anywhere. I'm gonna probably have to buy another one, I guess. If you guys want me to do a follow-up video and show you guys just how much this gas one suffers and how much better the Soto is, and then probably a step down would be the MSR, but it's gonna be a huge difference. If you wanna see that video, let me know down in the comments and I'll put it up as soon as I can. So where do I see this stove fitting in best? Well, it's great for like an emergency kit for your car or a bug out bag, situations where you probably won't use them or use it very often, but it's there if you need it. Super inexpensive, easy to buy 2 or 3 of them and put them wherever you need them. If you're a first-time backpacker looking just to get a taste of the experience, or maybe for a child or a Boy Scout, somebody who maybe won't be super nice to their gear, you don't want to give them a $60 or $70 stove right up front, a $9 stove might be a good idea. Are you taking longer trips where fuel consumption is a big deal? Are you going to be in harsher conditions where you expect more windy conditions and really the stove will make a difference as to how much fuel you have to carry? Or are you in dangerous situations where you really cannot afford for a piece of gear to let you down or fail? If you have any of these things, you might consider spending more money on one of the nicer stoves. If not, I see no reason whatsoever you should steer away from this stove just because it's cheap. It's inexpensive, but it does work. It just misses a lot of the frills and details that the more expensive stoves have, and that's pretty much what you would expect. So what do you guys think? What do you think about this stove? I'm sure many of you have a stove like this or a stove similar to this. I mean, again, these are mass produced. They just stamp a different name on them. I just happened to pick this one up because it was the cheapest one on Amazon that I could find. What do you guys think? Have you had experiences with it? Is it a positive? Is it a negative? Make sure you leave it down below. Be respectful, but just tell us what you think and the experiences you've had. If you want to look at other stoves besides these 3 stoves, I have an entire playlist on stoves, not just gas stoves, but wood stoves, solid fuel stoves, alcohol stoves, all that stuff. I got it in a playlist down below. Over 135 videos now on that playlist, so make sure you check it out down below. Do me a big, big favor, guys. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up down below. That helps spread things across YouTube. I also know from the analytics that most of you who watch these videos are not subscribed. So just stop for a second, hit that subscription button. It makes a huge difference for me and I really appreciate it. And if you want to make sure you don't miss any videos, hit that notification bell and you'll be notified as soon as I release new videos, so you'll never have to worry about missing one of these amazingly educational, stimulating, just perfect videos watching water boil. As always, guys, I appreciate you checking out the Paleo Hiker MD channel. Stay tuned for more videos soon.